Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I hope you are doing really well. For those of you that don't know who I am, my name's Heather. I am a professional freelance viola player and I live in the UK. So that means that I haven't done any work for a really long time, which is why there have been so many videos lately. No, seriously, if you are also a freelance musician, then I hope you're doing okay. I hope you're managing to survive and finding other ways of keeping yourself afloat. It is really tough at the moment and it's very odd. So yeah, my thoughts and my prayers are with you. And I hope that these videos provide a little bit of relief, whilst also being mildly informative. Sometimes they are, sometimes they're not. To be honest, it's a bit hit and miss. I generally make videos which are all about kind of freelance musician life, and at the moment I'm doing a little run which was meant to be just in June, but then I kind of thought of more ideas. So here we are on the life of a music college student, what to expect, how to deal with it, what I did, what other people did, you know, that you get the drill. But if that sounds like something you would enjoy, then please do subscribe to my channel, like this video, hit that bell, do all the stuff, and yeah, I think that's it for intro admin. Music college comes with a lot of pressures, and if you're not careful, that can very easily lead to a lot of burnout. I was definitely one of the lucky ones in that I came out of music college fairly unscathed, but that's definitely down to a few things that I found really helped along the way, just to give me some perspective, give me some space, and allow me to decompress from it all. Musicians are notorious for not being the healthiest of humans. And this is something that I actually want to do a whole dedicated thing on. But for the moment, when you think about this, it makes zero sense. Our bodies are literally the key to being able to do our jobs. Like, if I get ill or if I get injured, then I can't play anymore, which means I can't work, which means I can't earn any money, which means I kind of need to do something else. So we really need to be looking after ourselves physically, not to mention those sneaky little endorphins which will very swiftly become your best friends. Now it's worth saying that I definitely was not a sporty kid growing up. We did a lot of walking and horse riding as a family, but I was never involved with any kind of team sports. I was homeschooled until I was 16 and went off to do A-levels, and we just really focused on music more than anything. So yeah, I definitely wasn't a sporty individual because it just was never my focus. However, I went to college and then swiftly realised that I was spending literally all of my time indoors. And so I started to look for ways that would kind of get me out and do something else, and that's when I found running. I'd never really done it before, but I got into it really quite quickly actually. It gave me just such a good escape into the world and a bit of outdoor time, and also you can listen to whatever you want when you're running. Nobody knows, nobody can judge you, and sneaky tip, cascada. I also discovered the gym whilst I was at college, and I didn't start going until I was in my 3rd year, I don't think. I went along with a friend who wanted to try out a local gym, and I'd never even been in a gym before. It held absolute zero appeal to me whatsoever, because like I said with the running, the reason I discovered it was because I wanted something that would get me outside, and the gym is not outside. So I didn't really see the point of it, but I was like, yeah, sure, you know, I'll go with you, it'll be fun, whatever. And then I ever so slightly fell in love with it. This friend of mine actually stopped going to the gym after a little while, and therefore it became a place where nobody else from college was, which meant that it was just this little safe haven that I could escape to when things at college got a little bit too much or whatever. And another thing that I really valued about going to the gym was that the only expectation on me, or the only pressure, was that I had to pick that thing up off the floor. That was literally it. It was so simple and so straightforward, and I didn't have to be thinking about a million different things at the same time, and that was just amazing. Because music college is, like I've said before, it's a high-pressured environment by its very nature. So having a hobby that was just so simple was really nice. I also started to find, and continue to find, that being physically fit and strong meant that I was able to cope with the demands of my playing just so much better. Like my back, any back pain, shoulder pain, anything like that just went because I was physically stronger. I was able to cope with holding an instrument like this for hours on end. So if you are struggling with like niggles in your back or you're getting tired a lot, think about maybe building a bit of strength and you'll really, really thank yourself for it. I know a lot of musicians are a little bit nervous about going to the gym because they don't want to injure themselves. And to that I would say definitely get yourself just even 1 or 2 PT sessions. I started training with a PT quite regularly during my 4th year, and that was something which was just absolutely invaluable because he was just so picky on the correct technique of doing everything, which was brilliant for me because I did need to make sure that I didn't get injured and I was doing everything correctly. So that was absolutely amazing. So get yourself a couple of sessions with a PT, learn how to do the technique correctly, and then yeah, just having that little safe haven of escape was... It also provided me with a hobby that was absolutely nothing to do with college whatsoever, which again just gives you that mental space, and for me was something that was really, really helpful. Now the temptation to be able to just roll out of bed and get to college in less than 10 minutes is very real. I get that, but hear me out on this one. In my 4th year, I had like a 30 or 40 minute walk to college every day, and the rest of my housemates all either cycled or they drove into college. So that meant that I had this 30 minutes each way that I could just listen to some music, I could listen to a podcast. Having the walk was nice, again, get a little bit of exercise in, makes you feel just so much better. And that became time that I really, really valued. It also meant that I would leave my viola in college pretty much every day because I was like, I'm not carrying that thing all the way home. So that resulted in me having a really, really clean divide between home time and chill and just, you know, enjoying that space, and then college, which was work. And in hindsight, this is actually one of the things that impacted my mental health the most in my 4th year. I always say my college experience definitely built up to my 4th year, and then I absolutely loved my 4th year. It was just so much fun because I'd gotten all of these things in place. So therefore I was able to cope with everything much better. That meant I performed much better and, just to be honest, had a much better time overall. If you can walk into college on your own, that gives you the real saving grace of having just that little bit of alone time. I am absolutely an extrovert. I need people around me, but I'm not necessarily a big group of people kind of an extrovert. So having people around you all day and all of that noise and hubbub of college, which is great and really fun, but really tiring. So you do need to have just a little bit of zen time, of quiet time, and having a walk on your own is one of the easiest ways to achieve that. And you kind of kill 2 birds with 1 stone because you also need to get to college anyway. You will constantly hear people talking about the fact that X, Y, and Z is the only way to do something, or the only way to memorize a piece is this new technique that the Berlin Phil are pioneering. And to that I say, listen, take what sounds good to you and what sounds like it'll work, and then just discard the rest. You do not learn in the same way that the person saying those things learns. So don't get swayed from what actually works for you, because this will result in a huge amount of wasted time, and is probably the #1 mistake I made in my first couple of years of college, was desperately trying to do things and learn the way that I was being told was the only way to do it, when I knew full well that that way didn't work for me. So definitely listen to what everybody's saying and learn from it. Try it out, and then if it doesn't work for you, don't beat yourself up about it. One of the best vibrato lessons I ever had came from a fellow viola player in my year, because obviously I'd seen her play and heard her play a lot and I loved it. So I just asked her if she'd give me a little lesson in exchange for a drink. So it was an absolute win-win, and I learnt so much from her. The competitiveness of music college will kill off any potential friendships you could have so easily. So just swallow your pride a little bit, ask each other for help, and use that resource. You have some incredibly talented people around you, so tap into that. Asking people who don't play the same instrument as you to listen to your playing and maybe give you some feedback can also be really invaluable, because they'll pick up on totally different things. Asking a fellow viola player to listen to me play is really helpful, because they'll probably know the rep really well and they'll be able to spot little technique things and all of that. But some of the best advice I've gotten has actually been from brass players, bass players and percussionists. They focus less on the minutiae of the actual technique, which can be really, really refreshing, and they'll pick up on the overall musical things, which can just give you, like I said, just a totally different point of view. Eat, sleep, drink lots of water, you know the drill. I'm not your mother. I don't think. It's cliche, but it's true. You have got to be looking after yourself. Know your limits and know what you need to do to relax and chill out. For me, that's absolutely watching films, playing Assassin's Creed, and watching TV. They're just my ways that I automatically gravitate to when I need to chill out. So don't feel bad about doing those things. Remember, it's work-life balance. You need to be doing both. You have to work hard at college. You won't pass your exams if you don't, but you also won't be able to even take those exams in the first place if you have a complete mental breakdown. Lots of musicians burn out, and it breaks my heart every time I see it, because being a professional musician is incredible. It is wonderful, it is exciting, it's really, really cool, and it's an absolute privilege. But the joy of it can so easily be taken away from you if you let it. So do everything that you need to avoid any kind of burnout, and you'll be in the best possible place to make the most of your musical career. As always, I hope this video has been really helpful. It's something that I feel really strongly about, because so many people just lose the love of music making from burnout, and it's something that we really need to be aware of and we need to be really careful of as musicians, because you're putting so much of yourself out there all the time. You're constantly faced with critique and feedback and all of this kind of stuff, and often we are our own worst critics. So like I said, work really hard, but also find those things that you need to do to just decompress and kind of remind yourself that there is a life outside of music college. I know. Please do like this video if you have enjoyed it. It really, really supports my channel. Subscribe if you want to see more videos along similar kind of themes, and I will see you guys next week. Bye. I'm so sorry you have a fingerprint on your face. Hopefully that's better.